You are listening to the MoY Ploy, presented by the Missouri Aquarium Society. If you guys go to MissouriAquariumSociety.com and enter promo code MoyPloy, you will receive an error message.
You are among the blessed. You have been chosen by God to compete for righteous glory. 8 other champions will enter, but there can only be one MoY. And now introducing your host, Jake, the gluten-free careless.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the MoY Play. I am joined today by my co-host, Peter Cheater Pigu Hot Sizzle Done.
And I just want to say welcome to the MoY Ploy! Another week.
Another week, baby.
Another great weekend of battles.
Yes.
You know, the league is turning out to be spicy. I think we have one presumptive favorite who's emerged from the pack. He's leading the league in points for, and he has the best defense in the league, the lowest points against. It's your dad, T.
There you
Sizzle.
go. Defense wins championships.
The real MoY, the one true MoY.
I've got, okay, if we're going to talk MoY and WoY, like straight off the bat, I've got a couple WoY candidates.
Oh man,
It shouldn't play into this, but I can't have it not play into my WoY decision. There are 2 managers that are involved in 2 MoY Ploy leagues that are 0-4
combined.
No.
Just
Each.
0-4 across the board.
They're 0-8 combined. That is Sweaty Pissler and Sweat Fitzgerald.
Damn,
They're sweating. They're sweating because they're on the panic bus.
Brett was absolutely murdered by your dad.
Yeah. Oh, brutal. All right.
It was like fish plus lamb equal. Otter, beaver, fish plus lamb.
All right. So he
beaver.
explained that to me, and at first I was like, "Oh, it's got to be about a vagina, beaver, fish." Like,
it has to be.
No. I'm so much more confused. I was like, how does lamb factor into this? Is there like some sort of thing?
Dude,
like,
it
is there a
feels
TikTok
good,
that I haven't seen?
Clutch. The beaver,
What did you say?
the beaver, it feels good. It's plush, like the lamb. All I can think.
Sure.
That's all I can think. That sick Brett was talking about beavers, fish.
No, it was. I don't even know if I want to out him by explaining it and how dumb it was. But
Brett, I love Brett.
Here it is. So I was talking to him, and he says, and by the way, Brett, anything you say can and will be used against you on the MoY Ploy.
In the court of law.
In the court of MoY Ploy. All right, so he explains it to me, and he says, first off, I was like, he's like, Jake, do you get my name? I'm like, nope. And I was like, kind of waiting for him to explain it to me. And like a couple minutes go by, and he goes, do you want me to tell you? I'm like, yeah, man. What do you think I'm doing over here? So then he goes, fish was Debo Samuel. Lamb is CeeDee Lamb. And beaver was DeAndre Hopkins. And that's all he really said. And I kind of was like filling in the pieces. I'm like, beaver killer, like dodgeball reference, because he took steroids, and the steroids in Dodgeball, the movie, were called Beaver Killer, and the girl's like, Brenda's like, and her arms are all covered in hair. And I was like, I don't get the fish thing.
Right.
And he goes, Debo, like Finding Debo.
I love Brett. I like Brett because he's not afraid to stretch it.
It's just he's on a different planet out there. So I'm like, Finding Debo. Like he's like, yeah, Finding Nemo. I'm like, yeah, I know the movie. And
But finding
he goes
Finding
Debo, Nemo. They rhyme. I'm like, bro, that's not how rhymes work. The word has to have the last same ending sounds, not just the O. Like fellatio doesn't rhyme with Nemo. It doesn't.
Just saying.
They just end in O. It's like fellatio, spellatio. Those
Brett.
rhymes. Nemo, Spemo. Those
Brett's
rhyme.
on the panic bus for show.
Oh yeah, they're riding hard. All right. Anyways, we're not done shitting on Brett, guys. Don't worry, we will get back to it. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at some of the scoreboard here. Bum. All right, let's see. Make it bigger for the old men who can't see.
Oh, but you have it on week 3. Do we need to do a quick recap of week 2?
Yeah, I'm heading in the right direction. All right, boys.
The lowest scoring game.
We have got. Was it?
No, Brett and your dad, only
No.
because Brett didn't score.
The low scoring game involved the highest score. Damn, Brett. Get shit on again. All right, more to come,
Damn,
Brett. Buckle up. All right, so let's take a look at this first breakdown between myself and you.
Oh, I was worried.
It was a
worried on Monday.
barn burner until my team shit the bed on Thursday night.
Losing Trey Lance though was awful.
That hurt bad. That was, I think it was like my 6th round pick. You know, I'm carrying on the tradition of whiffing on my first 10 rounds of picks. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yep.
Waddle though, being a god. Waddle is a god.
Yeah, what really killed me was just the lack of ceiling out of
Pitts.
single digits. You know, the number of single digit performances I had. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I had 3 that barely broke double digits here. So it was just a very, very muted game that really, the only reason it was almost competitive was because Jalen Waddle and Aaron Jones.
70 points.
Drake London, too. Holla at Drake London. Great pick by me.
Drake London and God.
But yeah, your team balled out. Everyone got into the teams.
You gotta average 200 if you want to get into the playoffs. That's how it is.
That is how it is. All right.
Dog world here.
Next up, we got Rat Squirts versus.
Oh,
that's a gross name, man. All right, Ray Mertz, Rat Squirts.
For Rat Squirts, the interesting fact is, even if he scored the same amount of points this week and played your dad, he would have lost.
Yeah,
your dad
and
continues to outscore
my
Ray,
dad, as
no
Ray
matter what.
pointed out, my dad is a reigning MoY, which means that Ray lost to the worst manager of last year.
I agree.
Not exactly a feather in the cap.
But Ray sitting at 1-1, he has traditionally been a top 4 scorer
And a bottom 4 finisher.
Ray's been in the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. He's won a MoY award. He's let down his fans.
I think he's the reigning MoY. No. He was reigning MoY last year. I'm talking to the reigning MoY.
The one true MoY. But now it's up for grabs. Anyone can be MoY.
Unfortunately, we didn't actually get to have a MoY ceremony, so
therefore no MoY has
because
changed.
nobody was present. It goes to the person with the most votes who is not present, which was you. So you are reigning MoY. Ray owes you a hat and a plaque. Gonna ship that to South Kakalaki.
I gotta pay though.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing if the winner has to buy it? Winner pays for shipping.
Winner pays.
That's funny. All right.
Game 3. It was the.
Did you want to break this one down at all?
Which one? The Ray versus Brett. Yeah, we can break it down. I thought Brett was gonna jump out and get the win, but not so fast. Ray dropped.
I'll say this.
100.
Hang on.
Over 100 points on Monday night.
Yeah, that was insane. We'll get to that. Brent Van Conyu.
Brent.
He changed his team name to Only Kamish Can Stop Me. I haven't played him once, and he's 0-2. It seems like he's doing a good job of stopping himself. His team
pick
was
the players on his team.
I did not. I didn't choose who to start either. I mean, he seems to think that I want him to, but anyways, his team currently is defined by terrible running back play. Derrick Henry has been completely MIA, and I want to spend like 1 minute talking about how terrifyingly bad the Titans' offense looks. They've been completely unable to move the ball on the ground. They've been completely ineffective through the air. Ryan Tannehill doesn't have 3 seconds to throw. It's just
over.
They look horrible. It
could be over. It could be over for the Derrick Henry era, but they're going to start just handing him the ball 30 times a game, I feel like.
And he's probably going to get injured if they do that.
Damn.
But it'll be nice for the couple weeks before he gets injured. Jerry Jeudy got an injury. That was unfortunate. Adam Thielen's been kind of a dud so far this year, but we all kind of saw that coming, I feel like. He's like, I think I'm as old as Adam Thielen. So it'd be like someone my age out there running routes. Just not going to cut it.
It's tough. Brent really only had a couple guys pop off, and then the rest are mediocre to bad performances, and that's just not going to cut it.
I don't even think if he started his best lineup, I don't think he would have caught Ray.
Brett should be thankful that people like...
Not Brett.
Brent should be thankful that people like Brett and Eddie are just absolutely running off a cliff in a racing car with their roster.
You remember the scene from Billy Madison, the O'Doyle Rules scene? That's kind of what I picture when I like it's Brett and Eddie in a car going O'Doyle Rules. Oh man! All right, let's move on to the next one.
It was the Fandalorian versus Brett.
Yes.
When your highest performer is 21 points, you better have a lot of other 20s, 18s, 15s. And Brett just didn't have it. He had a couple guys in double digits, but a lot of single digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you get 5, minimizing the number of single digit scores is always what you're trying to do. You can't lay eggs and expect to win. 141. I wanted to go back and look at last year and see if there were lower scores, but I know there were lower scores than last year. So
the rosters are massive compared to the starting rosters are insanely large compared to last year. Last year was 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and 2 flexes. I'm pretty sure. And we have basically 2 extra spots on our rosters, an extra running back and an extra wide receiver.
Yeah.
We lost a kicker, but whatever. I'll say this for Brett's team. There's only really one problem, and it's that it absolutely sucks.
And other than that, you can see a future
injured.
In which Brett is successful.
Look at this bench. Injured,
you can
useless, injured, Brett, suspended, useless, suspended, injured, injured. He couldn't have started any of the players on his bench even if he wanted to. The man is 0-2 and he's hoarding stashed players come week 7, by the time I'm eliminated, I'll be unstoppable.
Brett,
Brett, dude. Woo. If you don't hear the emergency sirens, me too. I've tried to talk him into a couple bad ones, and he hasn't bit yet.
Brett, we're here to trade. Talk to us.
We're here to trade with you.
Trade with you. And then finally, the last game. One of our new members, Z Warren, who I picked to finish first, is 2-0.
You did.
By the way, I called.
Way to take that victory lap. Well done.
Called. I did not. I got it wrong on Eddie Disler, though.
You said he was going to have a good team.
and he has been the quarterback strong scenario. Like the going heavy quarterback didn't work. Just didn't work. 157. That's not going to cut it.
Turns out, prioritizing nothing but quarterbacks was a bad idea. Drafting 6 in a league where you only start 2 was a bad idea.
Bad idea.
And stashing one of them, who's injured, is a bad idea. And another one, Ryan Tannehill had 0.88 points. Oh my God. I didn't realize it was that bad. Ooh, yikes. Also, Peter, rest of season, Carson Wentz or Aaron Rodgers?
Wentz has got to be started in every week going forward. He's an absolute monster. I think he's the 3rd-ranked QB. He's balling out. I wish every year I've been trying to get Carson Wentz. It's like an incredible. 2 years ago I was expecting it. Last year I didn't take the bait. This year I didn't want to, and look at him go.
Yeah. I mean,
Carson Wentz.
Here's what I'll say about Carson Wentz real quick. He has never had a pass-catching core
like
this
this.
talented.
It makes a difference. He's
makes
got
a difference.
3 wide receiver ones.
It makes a difference.
He's got John, and then he's got Curtis Samuel, who's just being absolutely utilized out of his mind by.
Don't forget,
Washington.
They don't have zeros at running back either, Peter.
They got Gibson, and then they're going to get Brian Robinson back.
Yeah, they're only going to get stronger.
The Lions and the Commanders have spicy fantasy lineups. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Bad defense plus a functional offense equals
money.
All right. Let's talk about some unsolicited Dak picks here.
Oof.
And by the way to figure out how to get the word Chubb into your name and get around the communists at ESPN.
Yeah.
By the way, look, I know ESPN watches the show. ESPN, fix your website. It hasn't changed from the early 2000s. It's terrible. It's slow. And while you're at it, fix your fantasy app because it's garbage.
Garbage.
All right. Let's talk about these two teams here. Eddie, I feel like is it time to panic on his team?
Yes.
Here's what I love about his team. Here to here, I am in love with.
But the flip.
I even like Christian Kirk.
I love Christian Kirk.
I'm panicking on DK Metcalf.
Panicking. You can't. DK Metcalf was a bad.
I'm
pick.
not. If he's selling him low, I'm not buying. Devontae Parker, the fuck is he in your starting lineup for? I have heard T.J. Hawkinson called the most fraudulent elite tight end of all time.
I like that.
It's pretty interesting take, and it seems to be proving true in that Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah, dude, Sun God. The Sun God is crushing T.J. Hawkinson's output right now. And then, if he gets Gabe Davis back, that'll help quite a bit. Chris Godwin. I feel like there's hope on the horizon for Eddie's team.
Eddie.
Once these two get healthy, and he gets rid of these two useless sacks of shit, he's gonna have a pretty decent. He could. I feel like he's choosing to have a bad team right now. He could have had some waiver wire moves. He could have dropped Zach Wilson. Could have dropped Ryan Tannehill. Could have dropped Noah Fant, and he just chose not to. Why on earth you have multiple pieces of the Seattle offense is beyond me. But yeah, I just get him out the door. Sayonara. See you later. If Noah Fant finishes higher than tight end 15 on the season, I will be shocked.
Eddie has to be very careful here because depending on his matchup this week, an 0-3 start it's pretty hard to come back from. I think you're the only person to ever come back and go to the playoffs starting off 0-3.
I think one season I started out 0-5 or 0-6, and I won the championship that year. I think it was 0-6. I won out, went 6-6, and then swept the playoffs.
Think about that.
I was wheeling and dealing that year. All right.
Thieves.
Now, we kind of talked a little bit on how to fix Eddie's roster. Get rid of some of these useless, when on earth are you ever going to start Noah Fant?
Why is Dak is Dak not in the IR spot and another person?
Why is Dak not in the IR spot? Like, Eddie, what are you doing? Wake up, dude.
Eddie.
Do you not understand what's at stake here, Eddie?
Eddie, forget about your other leagues.
Do you not understand what's at stake here? Do you want to be the MoY? Because you're going to be the MoY. This is how you get the MoY.
You want to be berated by your friends and family and told how useless
I mean, look.
your fantasy season was? No.
MoY stands for Worst Manager of the Year.
Yeah.
What kind of manager has an IR slot? An injured quarterback and then doesn't use it?
Boy.
A MoY.
Your dad is so thankful that Eddie joined the league.
Look, I mean, I don't understand some of the start-sit decisions
Eddie.
here, and I don't understand some of the I don't understand some of the bench decisions. Like, why are you stashing Tannehill? Why are you stashing Zach Wilson? It doesn't make sense.
I'm excited to have Brett and Eddie in my life for a long time in multiple fantasy leagues.
I am too.
But I feel bad, guys. I feel bad, but you have to bring it going forward, or you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt on the MoY Ploy podcast. MoY Ploy.
That's true. We promised to shit more on Brett. Here's another opportunity. Some questionable start-sit decisions by Brett here.
Brett
starts Rex Burkhead. He flexes. Here are two guys he has starting in the running back position. Rex Burkhead, Mark Ingram. He's got two actual running backs in his flex position in Antonio Gibson and Jeff Wilson. You're telling me you couldn't find two wide receivers off waivers better
than Rex
Burkhead and Mark Ingram? And why the fuck is Mecole Hardman in your starting lineup, dude? I mean, how many years does this man have to suck before people learn that he's just not it? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, get Tyler Boyd off your team if you're not going to use him. You just need to start making some tough decisions, man. You need to get Burkhead off your team, Mark Ingram off your team. You need to start having actual upside players on your bench because, dude, injuries aren't going to stop. Jeff Wilson's made of glass. He's going down any second. Also, you started 3 San Francisco Pete players. Like, do you know that caps your upside? What are you doing? What are you doing?
You're talking about Brett's team now.
Yeah, I am. I've been talking about Brett's team.
Okay, my bad. I thought we were on Eddie, but it doesn't
No,
matter.
I prefaced it with the whole thing about shitting on Brett more.
It doesn't matter, Brett. Oh, Eddie.
You must have been very confused.
No, I'm going, I think he's talking about Brett. Poor Brett.
Yeah, so just very, very questionable start-sit decisions here. Lots and lots of mistakes.
I love it, Brett, I love to go questionable start-sit decisions. I'm all in on random people.
Yeah, just...
All right.
I want to talk about one more roster that could use some fixing. There's 3 0-2 teams. We also have to talk about Brent
Van Connu.
Yes.
02.
Brent Van 02.
I have Brent.
That actually has a nice ring to it. Brent Van 02.
I have Brent finishing 7th in the league. That's hurtful.
Oof. And
Brent, you deserved better support from the Rat Pack, but the roster says help.
Looking at Brent's team, an empty IR spot. Don't love that. I like the Kenny Pickett stash. The drumbeat keeps getting louder for Pickett to start. Mm-hmm. Don't like the Marvin Jones on the bench. Get him out of there. Zero upside.
Like Melvin Gordon again in the flex.
Don't love having Melvin Gordon in the flex. I like Melvin Gordon as a stash.
Yeah.
But anytime I'm flexing a player, I don't want it to be a low-end running back. I just don't. If it's a stud running back, sure, but very few people have 4 stud running backs in this league.
Yep.
So I don't think running backs belong in the flex at all.
Nope.
As far as fixing Brent's roster, I feel like he kind of just got to wait it out and hope that Henry, Wilson, Judy fixes it. But again, you're starting 3 Denver players. That's gonna limit your weekly upside. Get MLVG off your roster, trade him to somebody, get him on the bench in case Javonte gets injured, and probably slot someone like Jacoby Myers up into this flex position. Maybe Robert Woods if he continues to show signs of life, but I think Robert Woods is dead, done for, dunzo, see you later, sayonara. And I'd be, if I'm Brent Tent, I'm looking to add players off the waiver wire.
Agreed. 100. Brent, you faced Brent this week, so if you hopefully
easy win.
If he listens,
Hopefully he doesn't listen.
Brent, I would love to trade for Justin Herbert if you're listening.
Yes.
I can offer you bad deals.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to have Justin Herbert on my team. No, I'm kidding. I'm desperate for quarterback right now. Not gonna lie. I think that's really all we need to talk about as far as playoffs right now. We've got 3 teams at 2-0. Fandalorian, Pigu Cheater Peter, Hot Sizzle O'Donnell, Juju My Chub, that is Zach Wiener. And then we've got all Barkles, no Bite. And just missing on tiebreakers is Corrupt Commissioner. If you are a team on the bottom, currently only a 27% chance for Brett Tet to make the playoffs, 34% chance for Eddie. Somehow, even though he's placed ahead of Eddie's team, only a 29% chance compared to Eddie's 34 for Brent Tent to make the playoffs.
That sounds more accurate.
The highest percent chance in the league, Todd, the Bod, the God, the Fandalorian, the OGMOY, Harris. 75% chance to make the playoffs. A strong beginning for a MoY front
He's
runner.
heard the critics. He's heard the haters say that he's been a bottom 4 scorer every year. He wants to put that narrative to rest. He's going to finish as a top 4 scorer this year. I don't know. The season's long. I feel like in the past we've seen the same presentation. Strong start.
Here's the difference.
A finish.
His strong starts generally come because he's getting low points against and high and mediocre points for. He is the highest scoring team in the league by about almost 20 points per game. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's like that's like 2 extra players. And he currently has the lowest points against. Again, a strong defensive strategy by stifling his opponent's fantasy output
and putting them in
through trash talking. Pretzel. Yes. Trash talking and mental pretzelry. It's a tried and true strategy. I don't see him deviating from it this year. Do you?
I do not. And we need to break down this week's matchups.
Oh God, we have to go quick. Yeah.
Your dad is facing Eddie Disler. This couldn't be any worse for one of our guys in the 0-2 hole who needs to get out of the rut. Down 0-2, he's facing the number 1 scorer in the league. Eddie.
Yeah, this match. I see this matchup coming down to fucking ESPN has pop-up ads, assholes.
Eddie's not far behind on the projected list, but
I see this matchup really, really coming down to do Eddie's running backs show up? He's got 3 potentially elite running backs. Do they show up? If so, I feel like that can cover up some of his depth woes in his flex and wide receiver slots. I think my dad's lineup is explosive top to bottom. It just feels like at this point, every player on that roster is a threat to have a 40-point game. Tom Brady, Tua Tags. Maybe not Kareem Hunt for a 40 point, but he could hang a 25 burger. James Robinson, similar. Leonard Fournette could drop a 40 bomb. He did it last year. Cooper Kupp pretty much does it every week. Terry McLaurin could do it any given week. Brandon Cooks, probably not a 40 bomb, but 30's not out of the question. Amari Cooper just dropped a 30 bomb. Mark Andrews does it on the regular. Michael Thomas is looking like the Michael Thomas of old. Cordell Patterson was hanging 30s left and right last year. Bills D just put up a 20 bomb. It's a scary lineup, man.
If I'm Eddie, I'm making a deal. I'm dealing one of my quarterbacks. I have to have some better players on my roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd be looking to trade Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, hopefully get the dollar store version in Carson Wentz, and get some real value out of those two studs with the big names attached to them that really actually aren't producing like the studs that they're supposed to be. I'd hang on to Stafford. I'd deal Rodgers. I feel like there's a couple of Aaron Rodgers truthers in this league. They might pay for him. I'm not one of them. Count me out. Dude's got no one to throw to. Let's move to the next matchup.
Ray loves Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. If you're wondering who I was talking about, it's Ray. All right, then we've got a battle of the undefeateds. Team Wiener Chubb versus Trevor Trust.
Trust is here. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous.
Juju Wiener Chubb.
Z-Warn, I think, is second in the league right now in points for.
Yeah.
He's got an unbelievable team. I picked him to finish number one. My preseason favorite. It's because of the double quarterback ceiling. He can go over 100 points with two quarterbacks, and that's insane.
Absolutely. And the Cincinnati offense is not looking good right now. Joe Burrow is getting sacked at an incredible rate.
My only hope is that some of my running backs really ball out, and like Austin Eckler is not getting the usage that he has in the past, so it's really bad for Eckler owners right now.
Yeah, it's rough.
Nick Chubb, this past week it was on. The week before it was off. So again,
that's how Nick Chubb rolls. I think Nick Chubb had the best game of his season. I don't think we're going to see Nick Chubb do that again. Yeah, I agree. I think Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, DeAndre Swift, we haven't seen any of their ceilings yet. A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, Amon-Ra, we've seen all of their ceilings. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily mean they've hit it every week. A.J. Brown was great week 1, bad week 2. Mike Williams was the opposite. Amon-Ra has been fantastic. Great draft pick in Amon-Ra. A sun god, if you would.
A sun god. And then hopefully Michael Spittleman will return from an injury, a quad injury.
I like the Flex Kittle, I think, is an interesting lineup, the choice that you've got right there.
Well, Jimmy G is back, dude, and so now Kittle he's got the ceiling of a 40 burger every week.
I agree. I just don't know if I flex him, because that means you could say it as you're basically flexing Dallas Goedert at that point, which
and I'll probably tinker around some things. Kittle may not even play, honestly.
Goedert looks like the number 2 option in that Philly offense, and they're putting up a lot of points. So
I have to play I have to play my Philly pieces. They've been dominant offense again. I'm still looking to find some players, some gems in the rough out there. I dropped Garrett Wilson, which is going to go down and haunt me as a horrible, an impatient move. We'll see. I hope he balls out and does well, but I
haven't been hit by the injury bug yet, so I've been able to be patient with my rookies, which has been a blessing. I think George Pickens is destined for the waiver wire, though. He hasn't been showing signs of improvement. Next up, we talked about those two. Let's talk about the Rat Squirts versus Brett Tet.
This is a big one because it can pretty much go, like, Brett can pull into a same record as Ray with a win here, get a 1-2 going here.
Well, if he beats Ray, it moves him way up in the standings too.
He's got a good projection, but will his players show up? And again, if there's any injuries, if there's anything, Brett has a short bench. He's got to be careful.
I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is averaging not even 6 points per game right now. So, like, with Cooper Rush backup quarterback, I don't want to be starting multiple Dallas players. He's starting 2. With Jimmy G, I feel like really limits the upside of the offense. I feel like you don't want to be starting 3 San Francisco players.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you're starting 5 players on 2 different teams, it really hinders your upside. And in an 8-team league, you need upside.
My number one complaint was that it was too many on the same team.
You're right. You're absolutely right. He has to make some trades. He has to find guys who like Brandon Ayuk, who like Jeff Wilson, who like maybe even Deebo Samuel. See if you can get a haul for Deebo. Deebo hasn't really been looking like he's been like himself, like the wide receiver 2 last year. He hasn't been looking that way.
You look like you said, he got paid, and now he paid.
Think about that. Paid then fade.
Paid then fade.
That's another candidate for it. I was talking about that earlier on the Dynasty podcast.
Paid then fade.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right. Let's go ahead and break down the last one. It is myself versus Brent Tent.
The corrupt commish versus the one who claims he's a corrupt commish. This is a vengeance game. This is Brent trying to get back at you for ruining his draft.
I'm the reason he's 0-2. Only commish can stop him. This is your chance to prove that you can't be stopped by the corrupt commish.
Brent, this is your chance to shut up the commish and send a message. Go 1-2. Again, big win here would send you to 1-2. Brett would be 1-2.
Peter, 1 second. I actually, right now? Okay. The commissioner would actually like to have a word with Brent right now. So let me grab him, and he'll be right here. Brent, you stand absolutely no chance. 0%. You're going down. I have stopped you before. I'll stop you again. No problem. No further questions. Goodbye.
You're done.
Thank you for your time, Commish. We're very grateful. I love when he stops in live on the show. It's always so exciting to see such a great man in person. It's just, my heart's beating like 115 beats per minute right now.
Brent is done.
So yeah,
this could be the end of 3 people's seasons.
It really feels like most of the MoY Ploy seasons, there's multiple teams in the hunt, but it really does feel like there's 3 teams already like right up against, like they're in the shit house right now. They're in deep, deep shit.
It's not good.
It's not good, but this is fantasy football. Anything happens, and whole seasons can turn on a dime. Jameis Winston's got a broken back. I'm probably not going to start him. I think his back is broken in like 4 places or something crazy like that. So I'm down to 1 quarterback on my team. All my quarterbacks are breaking bones left and right. He's still going to play through a broken back. I don't know how, but apparently that's what he's going to try and do. But all right, we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything you wanted to say before we play a peace out?
Good luck this weekend, boys. We'll catch you on the other side.
Yes, good luck to everyone but Brent. Night.
Later.